Hello, myself Piyobroto Manna, Assistant Professor, Swami Vivekananda Institute of Modern Science. Today we are with a new topic, not new topic, we have discussed this topic in a previous lecture also, but some of the portion of this topic here we discuss in elaborate way. So, proton NMR spectroscopy part 2. Okay, before starting that I want to say about these two gentlemen. They got Nobel Prize in 1950 for for NMR spectroscopy. And before start of this topic, I want to go through the brief introduction. As you all know, proton NMR spectroscopy or PMR or HNMR, whatever it is deals with the atom nucleus with the radio frequency, right? And the radio frequency is the one of the electromagnetic radiation that having the lowest energy. Okay, so as we deals with the lowest energy spectroscopy, so this is not harmful for our body also. So one of the novel application, MRI. Okay, now in proton NMR spectroscopy, there is a nucleus of any atom is involved. One external magnetic field is involved, and another thing is involved is nothing but a radio frequency. And when this radio frequency is there, so it will correlate or it will interact with the radio frequency with the nucleus spin of any particular atom. Nucleus spin means that if you look at the atom, a nucleus of any atom, if there is a odd number of proton and neutron is present, so they will show some nucleus spin half integral or integral not equal to 0. So here I will give some example that which particular atom so NMR, and for particular proton NMR, PMR or HNMR, we deals with the proton. Okay, whatever the sample is provided to you, if that sample contains proton, so we can analyze that proton, and by the analyzing the proton, we also analyzes the whole structure of the unknown compound, right? That the main things. And proton is mostly or it is applicable in the most cases. Why? Because most of the biological sample or most of the sample their proton is present there. So as there is a proton is present there, so this is the widely applicable, widely used technique nowadays. So go to the second slide. Now, in our previous video, we have discussed NMR in elaborate way, and we have discussed the how it is work also. But some particular terms related with the NMR I have not discussed in my last video. So here I am discussing this in a particular in a elaborate way, so that much more feasible to you, and it is help you to understand clearly. So first thing is the nuclear or nuclear resonance. Now what do you mean by resonance? Now you all know resonance means a particular compound can stay in a different energy state and having the different type of structure, right? Any compound have the ability to stay in different structure, but the compound is the same. Now if I say in a general form, this look like this. Say in all of you in a particular class, okay, first year students, say that all are first year student. Okay, now not all the students are in the same merit. As they have a different merit, they having the different energy, but as a whole you are in a same class. Okay, now this is the resonance all about. Resonance means a particular compound can stay in different energy state. That's the main thing. Now when we are dealing with a radio frequency, that radio frequency is nothing but a particular broad area. There is so many frequency levels are there. Now those frequency not particular applicable for a particular proton. Now if you anyone give you some unknown sample, there is a proton is present, there might be one case is that proton may stay in a different environment. Now that what I am saying in the general way, it will be much more easier to understand. Say I am delivering a particular lecture to all of you. Okay, now in the class so many students are present. Some of students can catch my lecture very easily, some of unable to catch my lecture easily, because it depends on the merit, or the depends also the how I am explaining to all of you. Now thing is that when a particular compound it is given to you for analysis, if there is so many different environment protons are there, that protons can absorb different types of frequency, because particular atom will absorb that particular frequency when they matches. That's the main thing. If they never match, they will never absorb any energy. So that means as there is different protons are there, they having the different energy state, they will absorb different frequency of the radio frequency series. That's the main things. And when they are absorbing to each other, they are absorbing each other, so that is called the resonance. That means they forming a particular same level. That the main things, that only that radio frequency a particular environmental proton will absorb when they matches. That the main things. That is all about the nuclear resonance. Okay, now another thing, saturation. Now when the frequencies match in a particular proton in your unknown sample, that absorb radio frequency. So when it takes radio frequency, so it goes to the higher energy state. From the lower energy state, it goes to the higher energy state. So what happened if there is so many protons are there, so one by one they goes to the higher energy state. What happened in certain particular time, it will appear in such a way all the proton from the lower energy state it goes to the higher energy state. So at that time the absorption is not took place, so it is a saturation will generated. Okay, so when this saturation is generated all the molecule in the higher energy state, so you can't get any type of signal for NMR. So we have to prevent that things. So if we prevent that thing, so continuous transition will take place. That is all about the saturation, right? So saturation is one of the things that we have to prevent. And to prevent the saturation of that particular NMR spectroscopy, relaxation is the another method for that. Okay, so relaxation is that, say a particular molecule in a higher energy state, so if it is a higher energy state, if its lifetime is very low, so definitely it will quickly come down to lower energy state. So that the main thing, we have to have lower the lifetime of the higher energy state. So when we lower the higher energy state, it quickly come down. So when quickly come down, so there is a probability to absorb continuous absorption. So that the main thing. So relaxation is all about that prevent the saturation, right? When that prevent the saturation, so continuous transition will take place. We get the continuous NMR spectroscopy. That's the main thing for any NMR technique, right? So maybe PMR, maybe C13 NMR, whatever it is. Okay, so for this technique, there is two techniques is there. One is spin, transverse relaxation is called. Transverse relaxation is like that. Say I have all the molecule in the ground state. So ground state, right? So and the excited state is the fourth floor, right? So some as I told you that all the atom is not, all the proton are not in the same environment, so they not having the same energy. So some of the ground state, some of will be first floor, some of the third floor maybe, and the excited will be the fourth floor, say. Now first when you are exciting, ground state energy will absorb the energy, it go to the first floor. Okay, when it goes to the first floor, it matches the energy level of the first floor atom. So when what it did, it give its energy to the first floor atom. Then first floor atom absorb that energy, it goes to the second floor atom, and it gives all its energy to the second floor atom. Then second floor takes that energy and goes to the third floor, and that way they carried out the energy to the higher excited state, right? And whenever the ground floor go to the first floor and they give their energy to the first floor atom, that atom come to the ground state, and that the carried out in the same manner. So what happened, ground floor atom don't have to go to the highest energy level, they have to go to the first energy level, then they come back, and first energy level go to the have to go to the third energy level, then it comes back. So that is the process, the relaxation, one of the process we can prevent the saturation, that one technique. And another technique is a spin lattice relaxation, sometime it is called longitudinal relaxation. In that case, normally it is done for the crystalline material is there. In a lattice, when I am telling lattice, lattice means the atoms are fixed in a particular position. Okay, now when they are fixed in a particular position, they will not move it, but at that particular condition, they are possessing transitional motion, vibrational motion, all of it, but they are not moving. Now at that condition, if they pass that energy, that whatever they absorb to the neighboring, and that particular neighboring to the other neighboring atom, so energy will transform from one atom to another atom, and then other atom. So that way, if it is energy is passing to one to another or higher energy excited state atom, so that also prevent the saturation, and that also lower the lifetime of the excited state atom. That's the main thing. So this is the two process by which relaxation will be fulfilled, and that will prevent the saturation. That's the main thing. That I okay. Come to the second. The relaxation measurement. Actually, this is very qualitative because derivation is not there, but I have got it. But if derivation is so long, so I am not. If anybody need the derivation, so you comment that, I will provide him or her that derivation. So that is the relation or the measurement of the relaxation process, and this is all the terms is given over there. And it will be easier to, if you see this particular things. Okay, nothing to say about this particular slide, so go to the next slides. Now chemical shift. Now chemical shift is, before chemical shift, I want to tell you one thing, that chemical shift is measured in terms of something. Okay, you all know, if you go through my first video, you will all know that there in NMR we use some reference solvent. Okay, tetramethylsilane we use normally. Now in tetramethylsilane, there is the proton present, they are same element. With respect to that, whatever sample you analysis, that particular shifting is, that the difference is called chemical shifting. The difference of position of the absorption signal of proton from the absorption position of the reference proton is known as the chemical shift. The reference is here is nothing but tetramethylsilane. Now these things is a totally depends on shielding effect and deshielding effect of any chemical environment. Now what is shielding and deshielding effect? I may tell you that what is shielding. Shielding means it's like these types of things, that say if myself is surrounded by 100 people, that one environment. If I am surrounded by 10 people, that the another environment. Now tell me, if I am surrounded by the 100 people, now you want to drag me out from that particular area, you have to put much more energy. With respect to, if I surrounded by 10 people, it much more lower amount of energy you have to give. Okay, that's the main thing. Now if any particular proton you are looking for, if you are analysis that particular proton, and as, around this proton, if the electron cloud is very high, that means nothing but shielding effect is there very much. I am giving one example to all of you, it will be much more clear. Look at that one example I am giving to all of you. Say one example I am here giving, that is, if it is like this, say CH3 CH2 OH. Okay, now you all know this having oxygen having the electronegative atom. So what happened, whatever electron cloud over this place, particular this place, it will drag towards itself. So what happened, electron cloud over here is very less, but here electron cloud is very high. Now the situation is different. This proton, this particular proton, experience much more crowding of electron cloud around itself, but this proton is not experience that much crowding. That I want to say. For that case, the term is shielding, and in that case the term is deshielding. That means that particular CH3 proton, methyl proton, it is experience much more electron cloud due to this oxygen electronegative atom present over there. Okay, that I want to say. Okay, so if it is I think now question is that there is so many terms that is affecting your chemical shift. One is inductive effect. I give you one example that is all about the inductive effect. Due to the higher inductive effect of oxygen that will occur. Now van der Waals, bulky group will repel the electron cloud, right, and deshielding effect. If there is a bulky group present, so definitely that bulky group will repel the lone pair of electron. Okay, so if that they are repelling, so definitely there is deshielding is there. And hydrogen bonding causes deshielding. Why? Because hydrogen bonding, if the lone pair of electrons is there, it will definitely form hydrogen bonding, and hydrogen bonding will form those lone pairs. So definitely their electronegativity is destroyed. So definitely that will be result for deshielding. And there is higher temperature. If you go to the high temperature, hydrogen bonding is breakdown. So that will the nothing but shielding effect is there. That totally different. And chemical shift is a very little effect on solvent. Normally solvent is very negligible effect on the chemical shift. So we go to the next slide. Okay, just one thing, most of my students want to know some workout problems regarding the NMR spectroscopy. So in our last class we have discussed, last video we have discussed, but we have not discussed some example. So today I will discuss some example related NMR. So I will start with the question 1. Just look at that. What actually we want to find out in NMR normally in question 1, it is nothing but H3C CH triple bond single bond C triple bond N. Another methyl group is there, right? This is first. The question will be how many NMR signal there. So when you want to find out the NMR signal, before finding it out, there is some rules are there. You have to find out how many different types of environmental proton are present there. Now if you look at that, there is normally here CH proton is there and methyl proton is there. If you look at very carefully, this methyl proton and this methyl proton are similar, so we name as B. Both are similar, and this one is the another types of. So normally here two types of proton is there. Now the rules is that whatever, if you want to find out the signal here, number of signal, so with respect to this we have to see the neighboring how many protons are present. Now for proton A, CH group, that means CH group proton, the neighboring is 3 plus 3, 6 proton is there. So at that case the number of signal will be n plus 1. That means here n is 6, 6 plus 1, 7 signal is for, we can obtain 7 signal for this particular compound. Okay, another things we want to share another example for that, that is another C particular this particular compound B. If we find out the B for B, both B is the similar, so neighboring carbon having 1 proton, so in that case n plus 1 is equal to 2. 1 here, n is equal to 1 proton is there, so we got 2 signal. So for CH we got 7 signal, for CH3 we got 2 signal. So for 7 it is called septate. It is called septate, and this is called doublet. That we signal that we get. Okay. If we go through the second particular problem, it will be different problem. That is, if we look at second problem, it is like this. Now if you look at the proton, here is this proton, actually this proton and this proton is similar because it is closer to the oxygen atom. One particular bond is there, and for this is something different proton. So for A types of proton, the neighboring is CH2, two proton is there, so n plus 1, 2 plus 1, that is 3. They're both of A, so triplet. But B, but neighboring carbon there is 2 and 2, 4 protons are there. Then n is equal to here 4, n plus 1 is equal to 5. So it is pentate. Okay. Another example. So I am telling you another example 3. There is H3C, C double bond O, CH2, CH3. So in that case also, this with respect to this carbonyl group, this is one types of proton, and this is another types of proton, and this is another types of proton. So for A case, there is no neighboring proton is present, so it will show singlet. That all proton, that will show singlet. Signal there is n is equal to 0. Okay. For B, there is neighboring proton is 3, then 3 plus 1, quartet. Okay, 4. And for C, neighboring proton is 2, so it will say 2 plus 1, 3, triplet. Okay, that's all about the peak. And if we come to the another example 4, H3C, CHBr, C double bond O, OH. Now if you look at this, with respect to this, here three types of proton are there. This one is called B, this one is A, this is called C, as we already named it, so I will not change it. So for this case the neighboring proton is 1, so doublet. For A we got 3 neighboring protons, so quartet, 3 plus 1. For C there is no neighboring proton is there, singlet, so that for 4. And for 5, question 5, if you look at that, CH2, 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 2Cl is there, okay, terminal. Now these two are the same, A and A, this will be the B, central will be the B. So for A, neighboring proton is 2, so this one also triplet, and this also triplet, and the central is 4 proton is neighbor, so it is so painted, right? Here the magnetic spin in the both the neighboring proton is the same, because both having the chlorine present there. Okay, if we change one of it, bromine, so definitely the environment will change, then A, B, this will be the C. If in case of chlorine, if we write bromine, that the environment will change, and in that case B also change, I will discuss later on. Okay, another example I will discuss over here, the 6 very easy here. I will CH3, CH2, O, CH3. okay, if with respect to this one A, this one B, and this one C, so C will show triplet, C will show triplet, B will show quartet, and this will show singlet. It's very simple. And 7 CH3, CH2, CH2I. Now look at that, this is very important. Okay, now say this is A, this is B, this is C. Okay, now A with respect to B, so it will show triplet, no problem, triplet. C with respect to B, 2 proton is there, so it will show triplet, no problem. Okay, now what about the B? This is something different. Look at that. Here this particular C position, iodine is present, but in A position there is no iodine, so two environment is totally different. I have given one example of 5, that one of the, you look at that, example number 5 right over there. There is 2 chlorine is there. As there is 2 chlorine is there, their environment is the same, so that is why in the middle CH2, so it is not a problem, but in that case is a problem. For that case it is something different rules is follow. For this case we will write 3 plus 1, for this case 2 plus 1, total multiply, so 4 into 3, total 12 signal we will get. Okay, that the quite different example I am giving. So come to the another example, example number 8. Now it is cyclohexane, very simple, cyclohexane. So in that case all are equivalent, we will go singlet, right? So I think this will be not a problem for all of you, it will easier. Now we come to this problem. This is something different. Just look at that particular thing. Now question is that what types of proton is there? All of you will say this one A, this one B. No, there is 3 different types of proton is there. Look at that. With respect to CH3 it is trans. With respect to this CH3 this is cis. So that is why this is totally 3 environment is there. For this case A, we got singlet. Why singlet? Because neighboring proton carbon having no proton, so singlet. For this case and this case, as they are different in position, so with respect to that particular position we'll show doublet. Okay, that's the main thing, that's the difference. And the last problem I will discuss here, 10. If it is the last 10 problem. It is look like this. Okay, H methyl group is there, proton is there, this here another proton is there, another proton is there, double bonded is okay. Now look at that environment. That is, environment is totally different. This environment and this environment is totally different. Because methyl group here is proton. So A, B, C, D. There is 4 different environment. A, B, C, D. Okay. Now methyl, if you methyl proton, particular this C having how many proton? 1, only 1. So it will show doublet. For that case, this carbon, the neighboring carbon having 1 proton, 2 proton, and another is 3 proton. Okay, that means at the environment is the different. So in that case, we will see different types of total 3 plus 1 into 1 plus 1 into 1 plus 1. So 4 into 2 into 2. Total 16 signal we will get for this particular proton, and all this also for B proton we will get 16. For B 16 signal. For C neighboring carbon having 1 proton, it is also doublet. Neighboring carbon having 1 proton, so it is also doublet. So that's all about that I have discussed. But another things I want to tell you, all of you, on another things. So whenever we are discuss these things, another thing I want to tell you, when it is singlet, so there is the peak ratio will be 1. When it is doublet, the peak ratio is to 1:1. When it is triplet, so peak ratio will be 1:2:1 for all the case. When it is quartet, 1:3:3:1. If it is painted, say it will be 1:4:6:4:1. And if it is sextet, 1:5:10:5:1. So that the ratio of the peak. And another thing I want to tell you before that, and as I have discussed the chemical shift, so one thing also come to you. One question is very essential to all of you. It is you have to know these things. That if you look at the spectroscopy, NMR spectroscopy of any compound, I'm giving one example because as it is related with the chemical shape, sealing and desealing. I'm giving one example here, so it will be very easier to all of you. Now you come to know how many different environment are there and how many different protons are there. That's not a big problem. You can calculate that. Now in some cases, if the environment is not same, so shielding effect, desealing effect is usually different. So at that case, when shielding effect and desealing effect is there, so that peak, which particular peak will at a higher energy level and which particular peak at the lower energy level, that I am giving one example. Just treat every example in that way, you will also come to know. That one thing I want to tell you. Another thing is very essential, that some hyperfine splitting is there. So that also I will discuss on example I have discussed, but I also give you the theory. You look at that one example I will discuss here. Okay, just look at that. So here, if you look at that, the spectroscopy of ethyl bromide, CH3 CH2Br, ethyl bromide. Just I drawing the quality in a qualitative manner. I am drawing over here. If we tau with respect to tau is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This one say 10, right? So with respect to delta, if you write, tau is nothing but 10 minus delta. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So in that way that will increases. So in that case 10 is over there. So you can calculate in any manner. So first peak you get around the 10, it is nothing but tetramethylsilane, the reference tetramethylsilane, that peak reference for a reference solvent. And if you look at that, which one is the shielding effect is higher, as bromine is the electronegativity is very high, so it drag the electron cloud from the CH2 area. So unable to drag electron from here, so that is electron cloud is very high. So that particular things will having the electron cloud high. So when a electron cloud is very high, so for getting the signal from here we have to give higher energy. For that case, that particular proton will show in a higher energy level. That means in that level, how many signal we will get from the above example, it is easier, as the neighboring carbon having 2 protons, so we will got 3 signal. So 3 signal, that means triplet, that means 1 is to 2 is to 1. So for CH2 group we get in the higher energy state these types of peak. Okay, 3 peak, 1 is to 2 is to, that is for CH3 group, right? For CH3 group, for CH2 group the neighboring proton is CH3, so there is quartet, that when it is quartet then it is 1 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1, that will be look like this. That type. So this is for CH2 group. So 1 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1 quartet. So that all about I want to discuss over here. So that this is the nothing but NMR signal, all about that we get from here. This is all about example and related all these things. And one thing, there is maybe so many example left here, but if you comment box is there, if you comment any particular example, so definitely I will discuss that example. So one thing, so I think it will be much more clear and to all of you to understand the NMR, proton NMR spectroscopy. So thank you for watching and thank you all of you for your valuable feedback in the first video. Definitely if any recommendation or anything you want to share in the comment box, definitely I will go through another video for that if it is required, any question of anything you want to know. So thank you so much and bye. Thank you.